Welcome to English Across the Pond, a weekly podcast for language learners coming to you from the US and the UK. Join us, Jennifer and Dan, every week to practice American and British English and hear natural conversations. You can learn even more English and improve your skills faster with our weekly study plan and episode transcript. Sign up today at www.englishacrossthepond.com. So, let's do this!
English Across the Pond.
Hello. Welcome back, Dan. How are ya?
Whoop, whoop. Doing good, thank you very much. Can't complain.
Whoop. There it is. Whoop. Is that what you were thinking?
Nope.
Have you heard that song?
Yep.
Okay. I was gonna say if you hadn't, you should try it because we're talking about trying new things today.
Ah, yeah, but it wouldn't be a new thing. I might retry it though because it's a good song.
Yeah, I love it. So, getting right into it, trying new things is important to try to do new things.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate?
Yep. Sorry, I didn't realize it was a question. Yes, it is. And I think that as we get older, maybe circumstances, we become settled, we live in the same house. And of course, when you're younger, you're naturally trying new things because you haven't done anything because you're young. But I think it's important to keep our brains fresh and to keep our lives fresh. I think it's a very good thing to try new things. And I encourage everybody to get out of their comfort zones and push the envelope a little bit.
Well, boom, there's the episode. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Can I pop in a teaching moment and pause our conversation for a minute?
Certainly.
When I asked you a question, this podcast is all about helping people understand real conversations, giving them access to a real native speaker conversation. And just now I had asked you a question, is it important to try new things? And that was a yes or a no question. So sometimes when you have a conversation with somebody, they might only say, yep, yeah,
Yeah.
So, a way to kind of get the conversation going again could be asking the question that I did, care to elaborate, or can you elaborate, which means can you give more details?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there. If you listeners are ever in a conversation that kind of like stops, be like, oh, really? Can you tell me more? Give me more details. Care to elaborate?
Beautiful. Yeah. And as I say, I didn't realize, I can't remember, but I thought you said a statement. So I was just agreeing with the statement. I didn't realize it was a question. But yes.
Miscommunication.
Yeah. And you very eloquently, reopened the door. So I was able to answer more fully. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. Have you tried to do anything new recently?
Yes.
Ooh. Care to elaborate?
Yes.
What have you done?
I have, not every day because, I'm only mortal. I am but a human, Jennifer. But I have been getting up early before work, setting the alarm, getting my lazy ass out of bed and going for a walk before work. Going for a walk before work down by the sea.
That's me clapping.
Whoop, whoop.
Kudos to you.
Good, huh?
That is amazing.
And I've not finished. While I'm on the walk before work, I listen to kind of
our
like...
podcast.
Yeah. I listen to how to kind of like live your life more productively and things like, kind of self-help, kind of empowerment, mumbo jumbo.
Ooh, in the form of a podcast or an online book?
Audiobook.
Audiobook, awesome. Kindle? Audible?
Or maybe no, it can't be iBooks, can it?
Audible, maybe.
No, it's like an MP3, I think, maybe. So it just plays through like the media player.
Ah, got it. Cool.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. What sparked you to do that? Why did you want to start doing that?
Well, the first thing was I was reading, I was trying to get into sort of like how to have a more fulfilling life and how to make the most of every day. And I listened to a guy called Hal Elrod. Such a strange name. His first name is Hal, H-A-L, and his last name is Elrod, E-L-R-O-D. Have you heard of him?
No.
He has this thing called the Miracle Morning, where you really crack the day before 8 a.m. That you do all these things and set the day up. So in theory, your day's full of win, that it's going to be a successful day. And I don't really subscribe to everything that is in his, like, on his agenda, on his list, but just the idea of sort of like getting up. People have good ideas when they're walking, gets your juices flowing. You drink a glass of water before you go out. You have some green juice when you get back and stuff. So it was through wanting to sort of like improve myself, I guess.
Nice. Oh, I really want to do that. It's so hard.
Yeah.
For me, not just me. It's a very hard thing to start doing new stuff, to incorporate new routines. Why? I mean, I kind of know why I find it challenging for myself, but do you agree that it's kind of challenging to do that?
Well, totally. And I think that, I mean, just to go back to this guy, Hal, his like nickname or his motif is like your pal Hal. He was saying that he realized that he wanted to have more time to do things. And he wasn't a morning person, but then he said, I'll do it at lunch at work. And he was like, well, that's not really practical. I'll do it when I get home. He's like, yeah, but I'm tired when I get home and I want to spend time with my wife. And then it slowly dawned on him the only thing that he could really do was do it before he got up, even though he didn't want to. So I think time can be a huge factor. That's one reason, time.
Yeah, time. That self-excuses is huge as well. There's an interesting TED Talk, I believe, that's like try something new for 30 days. So kind of maybe having like a 30-day challenge for yourself could be a great way to do it.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think 30 days is kind of like if you want to quit smoking or if you want to establish a habit or a routine. 30 days is supposed to be around that kind of, then it becomes part of your life after 30 days.
Yes. First thing comes into your head. I know you started something new with walking every day, but you want to try something new. What's the first thing in your head right now? Boom, go.
Really easy, archery.
Archery?
Yeah.
Really?
Totally.
What?
Yeah.
1700s, coming back.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I want to do it, because it's like I love history. It's historical. If anybody's wondering like what is archery, firstly, that's quite normal.
Yeah.
It's not
you are
something,
not alone.
Yeah, it's not something we talk about every day. But it's kind of where you have an arrow and a bow, a bit like 500 years ago, and you pull the bow back and let the arrow go. I think that I like it because it can be very natural. Everything's made of, wood and nothing's man-made necessarily. I also think it would be very therapeutic to sort of like, a little bit of like muscle movement and stuff, kind of like a yoga pose, and then let go. And when you let go, the arrow falls to the floor and you just feel deflated. I'd love to try archery. Love, love, love. But the funny thing is, I've been saying that for like 20 years. I've never actually I think I'm in love with the idea of trying archery.
Do you think, you intend to do it, right?
Yeah.
Or is it just a back of your mind thing?
Well, there's potential problems on the horizon because this week my daughter is at camp with her school, and one of the things that is on the possible list of things to do is
archery.
And I said to her, I was saying to her, if they say to you, you're going to do archery, you have to say, no, I'm not, because I've got to do it with my father. I refuse.
Oh, have you talked to her yet?
No, I'll see her tomorrow. Which, of course, she knows 99 out of 100 things I say to my daughter are silly and ridiculous and crazy.
Yeah. And
she knows full well that. But I was saying, if you come back and you've done archery, there will be a problem.
We are through.
So, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know next week what happens.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
And what about you? What would you like to try? Don't say archery as well.
The funny thing is aren't you?
Yeah.
I really want to start doing some more self-love.
Oh.
Yoga,
Huh. Yeah,
meditation,
good.
journaling, reading, time for myself.
Having a swim in Lake Jennifer.
A swim in Lake Jennifer? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is that an expression? I've never heard that.
Yeah. It is an expression, yeah. It's
Interesting.
my expression.
Wait, did you make it up or?
No, I heard it from somewhere else.
Oh, I heard it from a little bird told me.
Can I say journaling, meditation, diary writing, it's all in Hal Elrod's book. That book I mentioned, that's what it's all about.
You would think that this man was sponsoring this episode, but he's not. This is a true recommendation. It was sponsored by Hal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the thing is I have had intentions of doing that. Like, after lunch, I'll kind of sit down in the middle of a work day and kind of do that, or I'll do it here. But the same thing that Hal has talked about is we make excuses kind of throughout the day. So I know that I need to sit down and do it in the morning. Mm-hmm. But, I have like a human being I have to care for as well. And so sometimes it's hard to slip in moments for myself. But that's exactly why I want to try to do this.
But there's that, eat, have we said before, eat the frog? I think, is it Brian Tracy, eat that frog or eat the frog?
In our procrastination episode, we did talk about that.
And so, that doing the worst thing first kind of, so obviously, I mean, I like to go for a walk, but that kind of idea of getting yourself out of bed, and it's getting cold now in England. So, I mean, you kind of come back feeling pretty triumphant, like when you're in the shower after and you're thinking, yes, it's a really nice feeling.
Yeah, it totally is. Mm-hmm. Trying something new and this whole idea of new routines and all that stuff is really popular. Everyone is trying new things around January 1st.
Oh, yeah.
New Year's resolutions, right?
Yeah.
And New Year's is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
And we did talk about New Year's resolutions last year. We set some.
Oh, dear, yeah.
So, is there anything that you wanted to do, that you wanted to start last year in your New Year's resolution that you actually started doing?
I have no recollection of what it was that I said I wanted to do this year.
I want to say that one of them might have been kind of in line with what you're doing.
I think maybe, was it to be more active, I think maybe? Or,
maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that, I mean, I'm not answering your question, but I think there's that big pressure around January the 1st, and I think most of us have given up before the 30-day, we meet the 30-day deadline kind of thing. And I'll no doubt set more New Year's resolutions for this January the 1st and stumble and kind of, slowly kind of half get there and half not get there. What did you make any? Can you remember? Yeah,
and I'm doing it.
Ooh!
One of them was less TV.
Oh, it was. I remember. Yeah.
Less TV because, and our TV, like most TVs, were it was in the living room. So it was just so easy, We'd go in the living room, was also kind of in the same general space as our dining room and our kitchen. So it was so easy to like turn on the TV while I was cooking, and then the TV would stay on through dinner, and then my husband would get home from work and we'd kind of sit on the couch in front of the TV and eat, or, we'd sit down to talk, but then the TV would be on. So we'd kind of be like, oh, what can we go and flip through the channels? And best decision I ever made in this new house was to take the TV out of the living room.
Where is it?
Our TV is now in our bedroom.
Ah, okay.
And, by the time we actually go upstairs to our room, we're tired. We don't want to watch TV. Yeah. So, the other night as we were laying in bed, my husband was like, we really are watching a lot less TV with it in the room. And I was like, yes, success.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's so nice because you are forced to actually have more Conversations. Ooh. Yeah.
You mean conversations like talking to somebody else type conversations?
Yes.
Whoa.
I know. So I wanted to give up TV, and I did it.
Yeah, and I've actually, maybe this year, there have been me and my daughter kind of watch reality TV a little bit, and we kind of discuss, the people and who should be voted out or who should be...
Survivor!
That kind of thing, yes. And there's The Apprentice has just restarted here, and I don't watch a lot, but I've maybe watched a little bit more TV this year than last year, but I'm actually quite enjoying it. I don't mind, and it's maybe an hour a night at most, it's maybe an hour every other night, but it's quite nice actually. TV can be good. TV can be fab.
It can be good.
Yeah.
Yes, it says. Yes, it says. I don't mean to make it out to be a monster.
Just in case the king of TV is listening, who's going to sort of like crack down on us.
I know.
Yeah.
Kind of a flip question there. Is there anything new that maybe you'd like to start doing that would require giving up something else? Do you think that adds a challenge if you have to then start something new and give up something else?
Yeah, well, if one thing I'd like to sort of like give up, this is sort of getting a bit sort of like a room full of mirrors. One thing I'd like to give up is not maintaining the routine, or I do things and I don't do things and then I do it a little bit more and then I forget. And often it slowly just fizzles away and there's never any continuity or any regularity. So I'd like to give up not being consistent. And if I'm going to get out of the house in the morning, one thing I'm going to sacrifice, Jennifer, is sleep.
Oh, I already sacrificed so much.
Yeah, sure.
Sleep.
But I've been researching sleep, and would you like to hear a little bit of sort of evidence from scientists? Well, they say that if you, my friend, for example, go to sleep and you're thinking, oh no, I've only got 6 hours or 5 hours and I'm going to be really tired in the morning, and you will, of course, when you wake up, feel like that. If you go to bed, and there was this sort of thing written about, something like, I'm going to go to sleep for 5 hours. This is enough for me and my body. My body is a marvelous machine that is capable of miracles. I trust this kind of talk. And, sorry, you can see I'm a bit cynical. But apparently, scientific studies show that if you go to bed with the belief that you're getting enough sleep, then you are.
I am a huge believer in positive affirmations. You just described a positive affirmation.
I did. Yeah.
And that is surprisingly something I never thought about. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Because positive affirmations got me through a natural childbirth.
Yeah.
It's huge. So.
Yeah, I was reading about affirmations where... Would you like to just say what one is, Jennifer, in case anyone doesn't know? What is an affirmation?
Exactly what you just said. It's like a positive statement that is affirming something positive. So you're basically telling yourself something, and they're positive. So you're telling yourself something that you want to believe is true. And by saying it, by making that statement, by affirming that statement, you then, are meant to start believing it, and then it kind of manifests itself into a reality.
And I think some of the first people to use affirmations were athletes.
Yes.
Envisaging...
I will win this game.
Yeah, or I will run in 9.58 seconds, and when the gun goes off, I will be the first person to leave the blocks and stuff like that. There's an idea that you go online and you can Google affirmations, but you can see I've been doing a lot of reading about this, that really you need your own affirmations that you hone and adjust and streamline and improve over time. And it's much better to write your own affirmations. And there's also the idea that you say them, you verbalize them. People shout them in the shower, but I think my family already think I'm quite strange. I don't want to be shouting, "You're a tiger!" in the shower.
You can do this!
Yeah, and they're going, "What? Nothing, I'm just shouting my affirmations!" Yeah, you will succeed! That sort of thing. And but the idea is that you you have a blank piece of paper and write down things that you love and things that you want to be and things that you care about and put them into sentences and then change them. And it becomes almost like a sort of like, I guess, like a mini writing task, and they become your own affirmations. And maybe over time you lose some of the affirmations because they're not relevant anymore, or you pass that milestone and you write new ones and they're ongoing.
I love that.
I'm like Dr. Affirmations, me.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm thinking, us, our listeners, we need to decide what we want to do. So decide to do something, right?
Yeah.
Make a positive affirmation about it, write it out, and then we can start giving ourselves these positive affirmations. Then we can start new routines, we can change habits, and we can try some new things.
We should change it from English across the pond to just English heals you.
Yes. How to accomplish anything you want in English.
Yeah.
With English and affirmations.
With Dan and Jennifer.
Yes.
Catchy title.
Hey, maybe we have a little side brand coming.
Yeah.
If you are interested in learning healing.
www.
Well, we're going to try something. It's not going to be new because we always do a language focus.
Yeah.
But we are going to do a new language focus this week.
Peace, spirit. Sorry, I'll stop now. Yeah, good.
This language focus will help me improve my fluency. I will learn verbs and infinitives.
My body is capable of becoming,
fluent in English. Got it. Great chatting.
Yeah, sure. Loved it.
And thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will talk to you very soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. And it's time to try something new with English grammar today, because we're going to talk about verbs and infinitives. Now, this topic of infinitives isn't necessarily new here on English Across the Pond, because we have actually talked a little bit about this in past episodes. Specifically, in episode 52, we talked about the verb remember, and we talked about remember with the use of an infinitive and a gerund. So definitely go back, listen to that episode, and refresh your memory. Today, though, we're going to focus on 4 verbs that always require the infinitive. Now, remember, the infinitive in American English is to plus the base verb. That's just the bare verb. For example, do, see, watch, try. And the infinitive is when we put to in front of that. So as we've reviewed in past episodes, as you may know, some verbs in English require the use of an infinitive. Others require the use of a gerund, the ing. Some of them can use both. There are a lot of rules that you can review and learn to improve your fluency and to become more confident in your English conversations. So again, we're going to talk about some verbs that always, always, always use the infinitive today. The 4 verbs that we're going to talk about are try, want, intend, and decide. And you can actually go back and re-listen to this episode because we have used these verbs throughout our conversation quite naturally, and you can hear how we use the verb and the infinitive. Bonus, if you become a member, you sign up for our transcript, and if you receive our study plan, this week we are going to be giving an even bigger list of verbs that require the infinitive. The study plan is going to have more examples and practice exercises. And of course, the transcript will really help you follow along, find these verbs and infinitives, and improve your English even more. So let's get into try, want, intend, and decide. These are always followed by the infinitive, which means you must have to and the base verb. For example, have you tried to do anything recently? Dan has tried to start walking. I tried to stop watching as much TV. Want? To do something. I wanted to stop watching TV. Dan wanted to walk in the mornings before work. If we intend to do something, we try to do it. We want to do it. We have the intentions to do something. Dan intended to, I forgot what he intended to do, but he intended to do something. And again, you can go back to the episode and listen to what he intends to do. And finally, decided. We talked about deciding to do something and deciding to write an affirmation about it. When you decide to do something, that's when you make the decision to do it. So you can improve your English fluency by learning which verbs require infinitives, gerunds, etc., so you can begin to construct more accurate sentences in your conversations and when you write. Focusing on 4 today, so you can practice by creating some questions, creating some sentences, and practicing with the verbs you've heard today. Don't forget to get the study plan and the transcript to learn even more. Until next time, we hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again.